Namaskar everyone. Welcome to Legionaries, the talk show with the industry stalwarts. I hope you are taking good care of yourself. I think that is very, very crucial in today's scenario. Today, we got a special guest who is an international educator as well as business developer. She worked in tobacco, she worked in alcohol, she worked in wine, she worked in sports apparel, and today she is a famous name internationally. Tatiana Petrakova is our guest today from London, UK. Hi Tatiana, welcome to the show.
Namaskar. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. Lovely to be in spirit with you in India.
Tatiana, I met you first time in a webinar when you were explaining about Russian standard.
Yes,
I want to know more. I want to know about more of Tatiana, who did her MA from St. Petersburg University. If you can tell more about you as an individual.
Thank you, Malay. Great question. I think we are all first and foremost, not just professionals and industry specials. We're all human beings, people, and everyone has a story, right?
Yes.
So I'm Tatiana. I'm based in London at the moment for already 13 years. But as you just said, originally I'm from Russia, from the beautiful city of St. Petersburg. And, it was an interesting path for me. First of all, being born in the Soviet Union, where we couldn't travel abroad really easily. So my dream as a little girl was to see the world, basically, very simply. And that led me on this path, first to study languages, foreign languages in St. Petersburg beautiful university. And then with a few languages as my background, I was able to find some exciting jobs, first of all in scuba diving industry, and then it moved me to Malta, a beautiful island in the Mediterranean for 3 years, and after that to London. And on this path, I've discovered the wonderful world of drinks, wines, spirits, and here we are now, talking with you.
St. Petersburg University to become the global brand ambassador for one of the best Russian vodka, Russian standard. How is the journey altogether?
Well, I think, as they say, the planets aligned. And I was in the right place in the right time. So my background was perfect because Russian standard comes from St. Petersburg. The distillery of standard is in St. Petersburg. That's where it's made. And that's where I came from. But as an ambassador, you need to be a people's person, not to be too shy when you present to different audiences, small and big. It's great if you know a few languages, because as you know, different cultures around the world, not everyone speaks English and not everyone speaks Russian. So it's great to know a few. And to also have a bit of an understanding of the industry, the drinks, the bartender's world. So in 2010, I was in the perfect moment where I know and I had all that. And that's how I was offered this exciting opportunity.
Tatiana, 15,000 training. So training of 15,000 professionals across the globe. This is something really fantastic. Please say a few more about this.
It's probably even impossible to count them exactly, but I really like your math. But I was super lucky over 10 years in total to visit over 45 countries, and mainly in Europe and Middle East and Southeast Asia. And that took me on a journey to meet so many wonderful and interesting people and to share knowledge and the passion that we Russians have for vodka, which is our national spirit, and to, educate the industry about what exactly vodka is, because there are a lot of, misconceptions and myths about the category.
It was a great journey, I am very sure, because 10 years global brand ambassador for Russian Standard. I also know that you were a WSET level 3 advanced course. So, for our young viewer, what is your, recommendation? How WSET really helped you in your career?
It's a very good question, and I have a huge respect for what Wine and Spirits Education Trust, WSCI, are doing across the globe. They're a truly international educational body for our industry, for everything you need to know about wines and spirits. So I was lucky before I became global ambassador to learn and do my courses on wines and spirits with them in London. And that was a help for me to give me confidence, to train my palate, to know the words which we use to describe different drinks. And in fact, I'm hoping to continue my journey with WSCI in a different capacity moving on, because at the moment we have very good discussions with the development team there, because they're developing their spirits courses in more details now, and more in-depth spirits levels, sweet spirits, hopefully diploma in spirits in the future. So I very much hope that I'll be part of the educators on that, and share the passion and about the spirits as all the categories together through WSCI channels.
10 years, I think is a long time. And when you spend good 10 years with a vodka brand like Russian Standard, so Russian Standard like back of your hand. So if you can, say a few lines about Russian Standard vodka as a brand.
Yes, with pleasure. I think if you wake me up at night, I'll be able to, do your tasting and say all the key words about it. It's the #1 premium vodka in Russia and also around the world when it comes to Russian premium vodka. Russian Standard is the #1, absolutely. So coming from St. Petersburg, it's this year it's about 21 years of age as a brand, so achieved its legal age of drinking. And it's a very modern, dynamic brand, but with a very deep history behind it, because St. Petersburg was always, for us, the capital of population in Russia. So it's a blend of quality ingredients. For us Russians, it's 100% wheat. So Russian Standard is made from winter wheat, and also very pure, very clean water. And St. Petersburg is lucky with that, because it's built on the river which flows from Lake Ladoga, the largest lake of Europe. And it's a glacial origin lake, meaning that the water is very clean, there is no sediment, and that makes a very tasty, soft vodka in the end. So modern technology and classic recipe together, that is Russian Standard.
Interesting. Taste with Tact. This is your new venture. So if you can, your new venture. So
Yes.
if you can tell more about that.
Well, it's a new venture, as a lot of us had a new venture in our life when 2020 started. And a lot of things need to be revisited, adapted. And so because of COVID pandemic across the world, sadly, my schedule of trainings, which was planned for 2020, had to be postponed or cancelled. And eventually, that was the end of my journey as global ambassador with Russian Standard. So that's how Taste of Cat was born. This is my own consultancy agency at the moment. And I call it very simply your own guide to the world of taste. So it's about training, education, global brand development, and it is a very broad spectrum of things I can do in the drinks industry, from sales to marketing, events, and obviously back to education.
So in early 2020, when you heard for the first time about COVID, what was your reaction? What you thought about this COVID?
The first reaction very early in 2020 was that it's just another type of flu. It's not new. COVID as coronavirus existed before, so I didn't put too much attention to it because I just thought every year we have a new flu strain, so that's another one. However, when I came back from my business trip in early March in Turkey, Istanbul, and we had the first lockdown in the UK, it became much more serious. And as I just said to you, it has impacted my work life, my career, things that I've been doing since then. So drastic change.
As a profession, we both understand that it is majorly, meeting people, doing training, doing testing sessions and all those. So majorly it is, physically meeting people. And due to COVID, I think this changed completely. So how you are managing now?
Yeah, I missed it a lot during especially the first few months. And that's how we met with you, right? On our Zoom training about vodka. For Monica Enterprises and the whole team. So that was my first step into adapting to the new world. We didn't know the word Zoom before that, right? And then I started doing a few consultancy projects which were not related to people face to face, developing some distribution for a few exciting brands which were up and coming, especially in the COVID world. For example, pre-packed cocktails. As you probably saw, a lot of bartenders and a lot of companies during COVID, when people couldn't go to bars, started making prepackaged cocktails and pouches, things like that. So I was involved in one of those projects for a while, and also these few last months led me to doing more of a bigger project for a tea company. Beautiful London-based tea company called Newbie, with obviously strong links to India because the production is Calcutta. And so with Mr. Petty team and Newbie now, it's like a new chapter. So I'm hoping we're coming back to trainings. In fact, I'm doing a lot of tastings now, London on trade, because it reopened. So it's nice to see people again, but for a few months, obviously, we had a bit of that limbo.
You are a trained mixologist, so you understand mixology well. So I'm very sure that you have many friends who are bartenders and working behind the bar, and I think that is the community who got the maximum hit. So, what is your experience about this? If you can explain few things about that.
You're absolutely right, and I had a huge admiration for a lot of them. Found important things to do in these new circumstances. For example, I saw some of our top London bartenders helping with charities, bringing food to NHS, to homeless people who got themselves even in a worse situation during lockdown. Some of them were making educational videos, and when their bars were closed, they were still streaming great content, for social media about cocktail recipes, ideas, training. So all in all, I was very excited about bartenders and how we tackled it.
Tatiana, you are a professional yourself, food and beverage professional, and many of our viewers who are young and who want to have a career in this industry. So, during this COVID period, what will be your message for them?
First of all, make sure you have the passion for it. If that is what you really want to do, then go for it. Get your education right, learn your drinks, learn your categories, or visit some great bars, other top people on the top of their game doing, and don't be shy. The world is our oyster, so if you set your mind to achieve great things, you can be the best in your area of expertise in your industry. So I think they are still exciting times, and the on-trade, the bars, the restaurants, the hotels are not going to disappear, and they will come back better and stronger. That's my vision for that.
Good to know that, Tatiana. When you look at alcohol industry, I think myth is something which is very integral part of our industry. You are a trainer yourself, so you can you share any experience that any myth that you burst in your peer group?
My biggest one when it comes to especially vodka education is to demystify the fact that some people still believe that all vodka stays the same. And a lot of people buy it based on the price or the shape of the bottle, all those superficial aspects. However, that was basically a big part of my job, to compare different vodkas, to do, if you like, sommelier training, where we can look at different styles, and, vodka made from wheat, from rye, from potato, from grapes, from different countries, using different methods of distillation and fine-tuning. And basically, you could be assured that they don't taste the same.
I think the best, when we met in the webinar for the first time, you told that there is around 5,000 variety of vodkas available across the globe, and 2,500 vodkas are from Russia itself. So it's a big awareness for me. There's the same way, talking about vodka, quality of vodka. So awareness is very integral of our industry for beverage industry. So if you can say a few lines about awareness, especially that is required for the end consumer.
Absolutely, because if you're making an educated choice, it's always a better choice. You choose things for your life. And it's not only about food and drink, but about pretty much everything. But to me, it's very important to know the provenance, the authenticity of the product, where it comes from. And if it was made with love, care, and attention, rather than just, made for volume purposes, mass production and stuff like that. So that comes to, if you're a curious person, you learn about those things and you find out about those things. And now with internet, so much information is available. You just have to look and, you'll find out. So it's really important, I guess, for your own quality of life to be more informed about things.
What is your favorite drink, Tatiana?
It depends on the occasion, obviously. It could be a wonderful cup of tea in the afternoon or a nice cup of coffee in the morning. It's certainly champagne for special celebrations, and a great cocktail if it's made by a great bartender with a personality. So anything from Manhattan, a classic one, or Negroni, to vodka martini would be fantastic.
Wow. This interview of ours is powered by a rum called Kraken.
Yes.
Any idea? Have you heard about the rum?
Absolutely. Kraken has made a lot of noise here in London and in the UK for quite a few years. They were, unusual, very creative, dare to be different, and it caught a lot of attention for especially bartenders. They are fantastic cocktail competitions, TV commercials. The whole image almost of you are being a pirate, essentially, drinking one of the mysterious rum from the underworld, basically. And so Kraken, I've seen it in a lot of cool London bars, and I know a lot of bartenders who are big fans of Kraken and love working with it, creating interesting drinks. So absolutely. It's a very well-known brand here in London.
Oh, wow. So, Tatiana, what all language you know? Being an educator, being a trainer, so what all language you understand or you can speak?
So apart from my native language, which is Russian, obviously, and I know a little bit of Ukrainian as well because my grandmother was from Ukraine. I speak English, and I also studied French, Italian, and Spanish. So I was very lucky through my work to visit those countries many times and to interact with Italian, French, and Spanish bartenders and industry people. So that helped me not to forget my languages. So I enjoy still using them when I have a chance.
Impressive. I think language is something which you express yourself, and you know so many language, which is really nice to know. You know, when we like you are in UK, London, so you see the world from a completely different perspective. You came across many brands. So in our next segment, we really want to know from your experience, from your exposure, what is the right definition for you for a successful brand?
It's a $1 million question, right? When we understand what makes a brand successful. In my personal experience, brands with a story, with a heart, they have better chance to succeed than shallow brands, if I call them this way. What is important for a successful brand is to have its unique authenticity. And of course, apart from ingredients and a great production method, beautiful packaging, all this is a given in the modern world. It needs to have soul. And if it has a soul and it has a story to share, people relate to it on emotional level. It creates memories when you come across it and have a chance to experience it. And that makes it successful long-term, I believe.
Tatiana, this is a perfect insight from you. Thank you so very much for your time. And I still, I can memorize that training, that webinar that happened for Russian Standard, and today we are here. Thank you so very much for your time, and it was wonderful talking with you.
The pleasure is mine, and as we say in Russian, spasiba. Thank you for having me. And to recall my little motto from my Russian Standard training days, davai. Let's do it.
Yeah, davai, right. Thank you so much, Tatiana. And please take care of yourself and stay safe.
You too. Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Hey, what's your story?
It was a dark and stormy night. I was alone on the Black Sea. An 8-armed monster with tentacles a mile long surface beneath me. The Kraken. I attacked! The storm raged and my boat was broken in two. I fell into the ocean tasting seawater mixed with the thick, rich ink of the beast. What's your story? Release the Kraken.